everyone, welcome to Squirrel Brain Stories. Just a little reminder right here at the beginning, we're going to be talking about heavy topics. Please make sure to take care of yourself, reach out to a friend if this triggers something in you. Make sure you drink your water, take your meds, and just maybe if you're not in a good place, today is not the day for this, come back to us later.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Squirrel Brain Stories. I'm Angela, and I'm here with my co-host, Adria.
Hi, guys.
And I think we're going to go over some questions that Adria's been collecting.
Yes, it's just a few to start with. You guys know we're still new, but one of our listeners did send in a couple of questions. Her name is Marie, and she's wonderful. So hi, Marie. So the first question she had was, what do you think the cult leader's main purpose was? Like for starting the cult itself, for the things that he did? What was his motivation? Do you have any insight into that?
You know, that's kind of a mystery. It's kind of funny because many years back, he had went to Multnomah Bible College up in Portland. And so he actually had his degree or whatever.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. He's like an actual theologist. He studied, did the whole thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. But then one of the other, my protege mom in the cult, she told, because she was really close with him, and she would help watch his kids a lot. And she told me he was always reading business strategy, business planning, and business strategy books. I think he probably saw it as a business. A long time ago, he used to have a jean company in Hawaii. That's how he came up from Peru, because he's from Peru. And he came up because his family started a jean company in Hawaii. And then he somehow got into preaching the Bible. So I'm not really sure what his motive was and what his plan was, but I think it was probably he liked to be idolized. So I think he just wanted to be idolized. But I'm sure the money portion of it, because like we were saying in the episode with Buck, I was very generous on my numbers, but so far I've already calculated out 104 people that live there. This isn't including the people that were outsiders that would come and give their 10%.
Yeah, no, we're talking an insane amount of money going through his hands every month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably $15,000 to $20,000 per house.
Which is, even now, unfathomable to me. That's so much money.
I mean, to have a house in Hawaii that not is only one house, but on the property there was two houses. Even a basic rent in a one-bedroom apartment in Hawaii is astronomical.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having property with two houses on it?
No, certainly not.
Yeah.
And it just makes me more upset that you guys lived the way you did. But anyway, I'll be upset about that in my own time.
I know. Yeah. He only shopped at Nordstrom's and Gap and all the fancy stores at the mall.
Yeah, but you guys had hand-me-downs and dressers without drawer faces.
They never ate at home.
Yeah.
I mean, they rarely ate at home. They always went out to eat dinner and eat outside, eat breakfast, lunch. You barely saw them eating at the cult. Meanwhile, we were all just living like animals. So I don't know what his motives were. There was definitely a business aspect to it. He saw it as revenue.
Yeah. And one of her other questions, and I think kind of in a way ties into this, was there ever any doomsday, end of the world talk, or were there teachings solely focused on the Bible? And I think that goes into it because this wasn't a doomsday cult. He wasn't telling you guys, God's going to come. We have to be ready. He's coming on this day and this year. And if you don't do exactly what I say, how I say it, you're not going to get to go. You're not going to get raptured.
Well, there was a bit of that. I wouldn't say it was to the extreme as typical, doomsdays, but there was a lot of rapture, the second coming. And
well, yeah, that's common, I feel like, in all
religion.
Yeah. In all like Christian type faiths, but she's asking more of like he's coming on this day, like a Jonestown type thing.
No.
Yeah.
We just knew it was going to happen one day, and we were hoping to be prepared so that we could be let in heaven and not go to hell.
Yeah. But his motivation definitely was not doomsday, not drumming anything like that up.
No.
Her next question, which I could have answered, but I didn't. She wanted to know if the majority of members were from Oregon. And I know you said most of them were immigrants from South America.
Yeah. Probably 3/4 of them were, probably a good 80% of them were from Mexico. There were some from, not Guatemala. I don't know, some Central America places, but mainly from Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a handful of Americans. And it's kind of funny now because all of the kids that were created in this environment, now they're all adults. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they're all not too much younger than me then.
Yeah. And a lot of them, like I had said earlier, once the churches started, they started seeing the flags of the abuse that was going on to this one girl, and the church, all of the leaders kind of started going different ways. One of the leaders started his own in-house church cult. And so they all went over to that house with him. And so now all of those kids are like all adults, and they're still living up there in Portland in their church, I'm sure a bedroom per family.
So was this like a branch off, or are we talking like cultception, where it kind of started within the cult you guys were in? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he was one of the proteges that got, married and got papers and became a leader. And then once things started going sour for the main leader, then he went off with his own people and he opened his church cult thing. And I never went to it, but I'm assuming it's based on all of the same kind of, things as the original one was, except for maybe less, sex abuse. Hopefully, I don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully less.
Hopefully none.
Yeah. But coming up in the cult that was run by Memo, I don't think there would be none.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
Yeah. Especially, when you have a high percentage of people that are illegal, they're undocumented people, there's always a fear to get, police involved and those kind of things. So they're more protected and they're kind of, enveloped from being reported because everyone's afraid, because if you report something, then police is going to come in and immigration might come in. And so they're pretty protected.
Yeah. Sorry, the excuses they had to overlook everything that happened within those walls just tend to overwhelm me sometimes.
Yeah, basic human rights violations,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, it is.
Even the American people, the white people, nothing would be reported. Yeah.
All right. Second to last question. And I know you and Buck touch on this in the first episode with you guys. I believe that's episode 7. If you guys want to go back and listen to that for more clarity. But just remember, these questions came to me prior to that episode releasing. Did anyone ever leave and tell the cops what was happening inside of the cult? And if so, what came of it?
Nico, our friend Nico, he ended up going to the police. And there was an investigation. I was called in to be interviewed, and I know they were interviewing a lot of people. The detective, his name was Mace Winters, up in Portland Police District. And there was that investigation was going on for a while. And he ended up not going through with it because it was just, how everything is just drawn out. And I don't think was, we'll hear more about that when it's his turn to come on and tell his story. But I don't think he was in a place where he felt safe enough that he could talk about these things. Maybe lack of support,
And he went through heavy shit. I can't imagine having to sit in front of a jury and tell them what happened to me, even with an entire village of support. It would be impossible to do if I felt alone.
Yeah, and his story is just horrific. I mean, the amount of brothers that sexually abused him range, I don't know, I think it was close to around 15 men that sexually abused him when he was like 9 years old, 10 years old.
He is still such a kind, funny, loving, caring, just open person.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine his path being easy at all to get to where he has gotten. Because, I just know, my path. It hasn't been easy to recover from that. And my path, is nothing compared to his. So, I feel bad for him for everything he went through.
Yeah.
No kid should have to go through those kind of things.
No.
And apart from him, there was another family that came forward about their girls being sexually abused by one of the guys. There might have been two guys. I know for sure one guy. One guy was arrested and did jail time. He was indicted. But I feel like there was another one too that was on that list. And so they reported the crimes, and that might have been when they had their falling out. Buck's computer. So yeah, those are the only ones I know about. And like Buck was asking me about my experience and with immigration stuff, and he's like, did you mention anything about the cult when you were meeting with immigration and doing all that stuff, with the prearranged husband? And I honestly, I didn't even think, because at that point I still hadn't realized what it was I had lived in. I hadn't realized it was a cult. I still hadn't been able to process everything yet. I was just I just had it all blocked away and wasn't really thinking about any of it. So I didn't mention any of that to them.
Well, and it was probably made more difficult by the fact it doesn't look like a typical cult. It doesn't. When you look back at like Branch Davidians and the Manson family and Jonestown, yours did not look anything like that. Yeah. It wasn't like that. So it would be really hard for you to look at where you're living and go, oh, this is a cult.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it wasn't until probably 9 years ago when I realized that it was a cult. That's how long it took me. That's like, this was, 25 years ago. Yeah. It's crazy. It just seemed normal,
It's okay though.
Yes.
You're here now.
Yes.
It's all good. All right.
Crazy.
And Marie's last question, which I don't think we've really talked about this or really decided. Will we ever delve deeper into the psychology behind cults in general or talk about other cults?
I mean, that's definitely on the table. We totally could do that.
We could.
We just got to do a little bit of research.
Well, yeah.
But I think that's totally doable.
Yeah. And then it was a 2-part question. Have we talked about having other cult survivors come on and talk about their experience? And absolutely, yes, we are. We're going to start with Nico.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah,
and there's
just keep going.
And there's a few other people that I was in contact, and they seemed like they were okay with at least a letter. You know, I don't know if they want to be named necessarily, but you know, as many people that want to share their stories, I'm all for it, because I feel like when we're together, you know, victims that come together, we're stronger when we come together, and we can help one another, and, you know, it's just be supportive for the other victims out there. Because it's not a situation that anyone decides one day, oh, I'm going to live in a cult. Usually it's, you know, the most vulnerable people, women and children, that are just placed in these situations, and then you have no way out.
Yeah. No, and I think that I really want to emphasize, if anybody does have a story of survival that you want to share, but you don't want your name attached to it, please send us an email, squirrelbrainstories@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us your story. We are more than happy to read it, share it without your name attached.
Yeah, definitely.
Just everybody has the right to have their story heard.
Yeah, no, I mean, everyone that has been victimized by these types of people, you know, I definitely want them to have the opportunity to share their story.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing, a good movement.
Yeah. Well, that's all the questions that I got from listeners. Thank you, Marie. Same email address. You guys have any questions, send them to us. And as we get more, we might be able to do a whole episode of just questions and answers.
That would be great. That would be awesome.
Yeah. And you guys can ask anything.
Yep. Because, you know, a lot of this story still feels very normal to me. And, you know, I know when I talk about it, there's like stuff that I really just kind of gloss over, because I don't really feel the impact of how heavy it was, you know. So definitely any questions, if there's stuff I gloss over. And
we've talked about it before, how it's kind of in the moment, especially now moving forward, I'm just as flabbergasted as y'all are when she says stuff. And sometimes my brain short circuits and I don't reboot in time to ask like the proper follow-up questions. So yeah, always ask us to backtrack, clarify.
Yeah, definitely.
Ask what her favorite color is. I don't care. I'll read anything you guys send.
Definitely. I'm an open book.
Yes.
Maybe share too much, but you know. Is there a thing as sharing too much? Sharing is caring, right?
Some things should be inside thoughts, but I don't think you've said any inside thoughts out loud yet.
Okay. Because my filter's a little broken sometimes, you know.
It's okay.
It's a little faulty.
It's okay. We're fine. We're fine. Yeah. They're listening on purpose.
Yeah. And we're all adults.
Hopefully. Please don't let children listen to us.
Yeah.
We're not child friendly. There's a little E next to our podcast. Don't.
We like kids, but this podcast is not child friendly.
No, it's not. But okay, that concludes the question portion. And now we are going to throw ourselves back in time. We are back in the United States with Juan.
Uh-huh.
And he is a piece of poop.
Yes.
A flaming hot piece of shit. So where are we at?
I think where we left off was we had just moved to the new apartment that was like the low income housing apartment, not Section 8, but in Happy Valley, Clackamas.
And you have the 2 older boys, the oldest girl, and you've just given birth to the baby girl, the youngest girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, everything was still pretty chaotic because coming back up from Mexico and Juan trying to find a job and trying to find stable housing that's big enough for all of us, the expanding family. And then he had a brother that was living with us. And then his other brother, Alex, decided to come up from Mexico. And so they had arranged the coyotes and he was at the border. But basically he ended up being a hostage at the border, like how coyotes like to do, they...
Nope. You're going to have to explain that to me because I know...
Okay.
I was born here. I've never had the need to come across a border illegally. So
a lot of the coyotes and smugglers, what they like to do, and this I think has really grown a lot in recent years, but the family or whoever pays the coyote gets them to the border, they cross the border, and then they're at a safe house. And when they're at the safe house, they don't let them leave. They're like hostages at the safe house. And they won't transport them until they get more like ransom money. So when originally you thought maybe it was like somewhere between $2,000 to $5,000 to cross the border with a coyote. Well, now they want like another $5,000 before they bring you your family member.
Okay, but Juan should have known that, right? Because didn't he used to do coyote work?
I don't think it was a thing as often when he was doing it as it is now. You still hear about it. I hear about it on the news and stuff, and I see reports about it. But I don't think it was such a thing when he used to do it.
Okay.
And so they weren't really expecting this. And I think it was someone that they knew from their town down in Yucatan. So I don't think they foresaw it at all. So he's at this house being held hostage, and the money that they want now has gone way up, and it probably around $5,000. So Juan's, trying to figure out what to do, and he's talking with the coyote and trying to make some sort of deal. And so I think he ended up sending a little bit of money down to the coyote guy where Alex was at the house. And then he told him once he got up here, once they drove him up to Oregon, he would get the rest of it.
Okay.
And so we didn't have the money because he had just started working. I wasn't working. So what do we do?
Okay, I'm ready now. What happened?
Well, we contact the old immigration friend. I'm going to say friend because at this point, we've done multiple...
He's shady as fuck, but okay.
Yeah, at this point, we've done multiple things with him, letting Juan cross back into the United States illegally. So I'm just going to say friend at this point because the favors are kind of, weighing in on the friend zone.
The favors are a little illegal, but okay.
So we reach out to the immigration friend and we're like, hey... Juan, it's like, hey, my brother's being held hostage down here. I finally got them to agree to bring him up to Oregon. They want all this money when he's delivered. And we're kind of like, do you want to get your hands on them? And he jumps on the opportunity. Because, it would be like in the middle of the transaction. So, they arranged, the meet spot, and the coyotes come up here with Alex. And when they arrive, immigration pulls up.
And how's that go?
Well, they get taken. Coyotes get taken.
And Juan gets to keep his brother because, of course.
Yeah, Alex, he might have been, I can't remember if he was in jail for one day or if they didn't take him at all. But he ended up getting an ankle bracelet on. He was like on house arrest for a little while because they wanted to, he had all of his immigration court stuff that he still had to go to. So I think he might have been arrested and then released.
Okay.
And he had an ankle bracelet, like a house arrest little ankle bracelet on. And I would take him to his appointments. He had to go meet with some person. I don't know if it was like a parole officer or what type of thing, but he had to go meet with this person every week and check in until all of his court stuff was done. And then he got the ankle bracelet off and he didn't follow through with all of his court stuff and ended up skipping court. And I think at this point, some time had gone by, like a couple years or so. And I think at this point, the immigration friend probably felt a little screwed over.
Is he still in immigration at this point? Because he moves to the DEA, right?
Yeah.
Is he still with immigration by the time Alex says fuck you to the U.S. government and doesn't do his part?
I don't think so. I think at this point he had moved over to the DEA.
Okay.
So it was all of the other, the other immigration people. Well, they showed up at our house one day.
Oh.
Yeah. And they're like, where's Alex? And, at first it's like, oh, we don't know, I don't know where he is. I mean, it's not my brother.
Yeah.
But Juan ends up telling them where he is.
This man has no loyalty.
No.
Like, there's no loyalty among thieves, but he is just fucking everybody over.
Yeah. Yeah. So they found out where he was and they went and picked him up and he got sent up to the Tacoma Detention Center. And he was there for a little while. Not too long because, he wasn't married here. So he had no one that could vouch for him or, get him papers.
And his brother certainly isn't going to do it.
No. So he ended up getting deported back down to Mexico. And then a while later, a couple of years probably go by, and he comes back up with another coyote. Yeah. So, and this time he didn't ask Juan to be involved at all because, he already got.
Hell no. And who would trust Juan to be a coyote for him after that?
Yeah.
Like, okay, first you turn the coyotes over to immigration. Then a couple of years later, you turn your brother into immigration. You can't be trusted. And you didn't pay us our money. Fuck that.
Yeah. So he got deported and then ended up coming back up. His wife, she came up with a tourist visa. But then never left. And now, I mean, they're good about getting visas down in their town. They have a good lawyer that a lot of them get visas. His other brother's wife, Marcos, his wife came up with a visa too, a tourist visa, and she's never left. Yeah. But that's kind of, what happens. Come up here, have some kids, and then never leave.
I mean, doing it with a visa sounds easier than going through a coyote, but
yeah, all the crazy stuff that can happen.
A bit safer. I'm not going to be held for ransom.
Yeah.
Nobody would pay for me. It's fine.
Yeah, it was crazy. A lot of craziness there for a long time. I mean, well, the whole marriage was always some sort of bullshit. And the control just kept getting more and more and,
So when you guys come back, you are officially no longer dealing with the cult, right? That is completely in the past. Uh-huh. You've now got 4 kids, 3 grown men living in the house, and you're not working.
I started working when my youngest daughter was about 6 months old.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I went back to work at my previous employer.
Okay. And what did life look like for you? What did that relationship look like? You talk about control. We've touched on him being abusive, but what was that like, especially in those early years being back?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, it was bearable at that point still. It wasn't until a few years later where it just got
you got to define bearable, because bearable for me is like somebody calling me a bitch, but bearable for you, your threshold is up fucking here. So when you say bearable, I don't know if you mean like he's punching holes in the wall, he's beating the shit out of the boys, he's beating you, but you're not in the hospital, so it's fine.
Yeah, he was very abusive to the boys physically. Not to the girls that I had seen.
Well, because those are his kids.
Yeah.
There's got to be a distinct difference for people like that between what's his and what is yours and your problem and the baggage you brought into his life.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there definitely seemed to be a distinction the way that he treated them. But, he kept tabs on me all the time. Like I had to be home by a certain time from work. And even if traffic was bad, like he'd be an asshole if I was like 10, 15 minutes late from getting home from work because traffic was bad. And, psychologically abusive, mentally abusive, not physically abusive to me. He didn't show up for his youngest daughter's birth because he was too tired. You know how embarrassing it was to give birth by myself all alone at the hospital? That was and I knew the nurses. I worked with them. Do you know how that was so fucking embarrassing to be there in my room in contractions and, my water broke and no, he's not there. He's at home with the older daughter and he's just tired. So he needed to sleep. Like, men, you can never miss the birth of one of your children.
And also, please don't bring your video game console to the birth of your child, for the love of God. I see one more fucking TikTok video of the mom laboring while the dad is over there on his fucking PlayStation, my head's going to explode. Oh, yeah.
That's a thing?
Apparently.
That's ridiculous.
Apparently.
No, you guys are expected to have the wet, cold washcloths on the woman's forehead, holding her hand, telling her to breathe through it.
No, don't tell me what to do. Just fucking sit there and look pretty until I need something.
Get some ice chips. Go run for McDonald's or Taco Bell or Jimmy John's.
Why are you saying that like we're allowed to eat?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true.
We're not allowed to eat.
It was funny. I was watching POV husband. I don't know if you've ever seen his TikToks.
No.
He's this Asian guy, and he used to have a restaurant, and I love watching he does cooking. So he makes these like crazy extravagant meals for his wife and his baby boy, and he records the whole thing. And oh gosh, where was I going with this? Oh, there was a video where she was in birth with their baby, and he went and got like McDonald's or something, and there's a video of her, like she hasn't given birth yet because you can still see her, and she's eating. I'm like, that's not fair. Why is she allowed to eat?
Girl, with the baby, we got there at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I thought they were going to let me leave. We had talked about going to get food, and I was so excited. And then those bitches go, "Oh, we're just going to admit you." I said, "Okay. I haven't eaten since like 7 p.m. Might I have some food?" And they were like, "Nah, you can have some bone broth."
Ice chips.
Okay.
I know. It's like, why?
But yeah, also please don't go buy food and eat it in front of your partner that can't eat. That's so fucked up. We're so hungry.
Pregnant women are always hungry.
We're so hungry and we're so angry.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, what kind of piece of shit just chooses not to be? Although, to be fair, I don't think my oldest dad would have showed up if he didn't already have the day off work.
And like the worst part, like when you're discharged, you're like starving. All you want is food. You don't want to have to go home and cook. Like I wanted some sort of fast food.
I'm sorry. Are you going where I think you're going with that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I was discharged after my youngest daughter's birth when he finally decided to show up. And I wanted some food. I wanted some fast food really bad. And I'm like, I'm hungry. Can we get something? He's like, no, you're going to make dinner when we get home. And I'm like, I just want some fucking McDonald's, man.
No, that right after birth is not the time for we got food at home.
Right?
No, we might have food at home, but unless you're making it, there's nothing edible at home. Because I'm not doing it.
He is so shitty.
Oh, and this is your message. If you're going to have a baby, do some prep work. Freeze a bunch of meals. Have a great friend that brings meals to your house after you get cut open, push your baby out. Yeah.
Oh, man. So crazy. Yeah, it reminds me of another story too when I had to have my gallbladder taken out because, apparently I had a bunch of gallstones. I like to eat rocks, I guess. And so I had my surgery and I was discharged and I had to go get my medicine. He wouldn't go in and get my medicine. I had to walk. I had to get one of those scooters and drive around the store. I went into Safeway to go get my prescription while he went to KFC to get himself some food.
Stop it.
And I was like crying inside the store because I was in so much pain.
It's not funny. I just hate this for you so much.
I know. I was crying in the store and the pharmacist saw me crying when I was waiting in the waiting area. And he's like, he came out from behind the pharmacy thing and he's like, we're working on filling your prescription, but I can give you one tablet now. I'm like, please, because I'm in so much pain. And yeah, that was really cool. That was really nice of him.
Yeah.
And then, he came in and picked me up after he had his KFC. Did he bring me any?
Of course not.
No, fuck no.
No, of course not.
That would have been too expensive.
You were just sliced open, went to get your own meds, in pain, crying in the middle of a Wendy's. Do you get anything from him? No.
Can you believe that?
Yes, I can. Like I said, flaming pile of shit.
Yeah. So basically, I was just kind of in survival mode. God damn it. Just trying to, get through the days and avoid any kind of conflict or not try to piss him off at all because you never know, how he's going to act when he's pissed. And
in those early days, what would set him off? Like, aside from you coming home a few minutes late because there's traffic, is it, the girls are crying, so he's pissed at you because, of course, that's your fault. The boys did something, and of course, that is your fault.
Or playing a game on your phone. He didn't like that I played Candy Crush because it was a waste of time. I should have been finding something better to do with my time.
You should have been playing Tap Zoo back then.
It's Tap Zoo.
Tap Zoo was the shit, but I digress. Continue.
So pretty much, anything, if the house wasn't clean or if there was something out of place or it was always something. He's one of those people that are always unhappy and always has to create drama. They live in a world of drama. So they always have to be surrounded by drama. If there's no drama going on, they're not happy.
Well, then they just have to create it.
Yeah. He's a creator. He's a stirrer of shit. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. What's okay. So we were at that apartment for quite a while, for I don't know, a couple of years, and we ended up moving. We the on-site resident manager lady was kind of a cunt. And so, we wanted to find somewhere that actually had a yard. And so we ended up finding a different place and ended up moving. And we found this townhome out in Gresham that had a fenced backyard. And so we ended up moving there. And it was, it was better than not having a yard, and the kids were able to play outside in the little area, and we could have like a little pool. And then his mom ended up coming up, and then his sister ended up coming up. Yeah.
And or one of his brothers still living with you at this time? Because I know by now Alex is gone.
Yeah.
But neither of his brothers live with you?
No.
At this point, it's just
the mom and
you,
the sister.
the 4 kids, him, mom, and sister.
Yeah. The sister wasn't there for very long. For some reason, she didn't like me. And I don't really know why.
I mean, hold on. To be fair, you were the other woman. You didn't know you were the other woman, but you were the other woman. I wouldn't have liked you either.
She was the baby of the family.
Yeah, but also, like, my big brother was married, and then he brought home his American wife, and I don't like that. I don't know. I wouldn't have liked you.
Good point. Yeah. So, yeah, she wasn't very nice to the kids. Like, one of the girls would tell me that she, like, pulled their hair and she'd lock them in the closet. And I'm like, what? Because her mom and until the sister found a job and moved out, they would watch the girls because the littlest one wasn't in school yet.
Okay, so we're only talking about 4 or 5 years since you guys have come back.
Yeah.
Lived at the apartment and then moved to the townhouse.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really, it's crazy how many shady people there are. One of our neighbors, he was a Cuban guy, and he just really milked the system like crazy, working under the table, getting food stamps, get on unemployment. But we had this big truck, and it was a big lifted truck, and Juan decided that he didn't want the truck anymore. And the Cuban guy knew a mechanic, and this mechanic would stage vehicles to be totaled. And so he would set up, he'd have a crappy car, and they'd run into whatever your car so that the car would be totaled and you can get the money.
Fraud. We're talking about insurance fraud.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Continue.
Yeah, we didn't do that. It seemed a little sketchy because it was a huge truck. So like you'd have to have like a bus to total it because it was lifted. Like the bumper was like this high off the ground, like 3 feet off the ground. So, we didn't do that. I didn't think that it was smart.
But you did think about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. Yeah. And so at this point, we had just bought a piece of property in Mexico. Well, not we, Juan, because, everything in Mexico was in his name.
Yeah. With
the thought that it was ours, but no, it was his. So we bought this piece of property and we started construction on building a building, and it was about the size of a Walgreens. And so the plan was to create like a Home Depot, kind of like a building supply store.
Oh, so he still wants to have a store down there.
Yeah, one day go back and like this time for real retire.
Okay.
So yeah, we probably sent down about $20,000 to $30,000. You could only do it. Western Union would only let you do like $25 to $100 at a time. So every couple of weeks we'd go and send down some money down to Mexico. So stupid.
Now, was it an outright scam, or was he hiding money from you?
No, he built this warehouse.
Oh.
Yeah, he ended up building it. We bought the property was real. It existed, and he actually built it.
What happened to it?
He still has it.
What do you use it for?
I know he wanted to throw parties at it for a while. A little bit before the divorce, there was someone renting it. But when we went to do the divorce court, he claims that there's nothing in Mexico. So I pretty much, can't bring up anything from Mexico on our divorce dividing stuff.
Why not? Just because you can't prove it? You didn't have the deeds or anything?
No, I didn't have any of the deeds. Everything was down in Mexico. And then he straight out said there's nothing in Mexico.
I am so disappointed in your divorce lawyers, but okay.
Yeah, no, I know too. I think about that sometimes because the divorce person, I brought paperwork with me with my divorce stuff, and it had said that that Juan could not see the children. And she still in the divorce paperwork let him have visitation.
Supervised?
Yes.
Okay.
But we have this report from this place called the Children's Center. And the Children's Center does forensic interviews of abused children. And they said that he's not allowed to have any contact with the children. All 3 children. But she still gave him visitations. I mean, he never had visitations because he, we'll get to that part. But
yeah.
But still, yeah, it was pretty shitty. But I think that's where we're going to end it for this episode, you guys.
Yes.
And like we said, if anyone has any questions, comment when you see the post, wherever we post them on social media, email us at squirrelbrainstories@gmail.com. If you're a survivor and you have a story that weighs heavy on your heart that you'd like us to share, please reach out to us for that.
Find us on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram,
yes.
X. Find us on all the places.
Reddit.
Yes.
Everywhere. Just Google Squirrel Brain Stories. It will take you somewhere.
Yes, and we'll probably be there. We have nothing better to do.
But that's all for this episode, you guys. Thank you for being with us again.
See you guys.
Bye.